So I'm now 6 weeks post-surgery. By the time this video goes up, it'll probably be about 7 weeks. And I just thought I'd give a bit of an update on how I'm going and what's happening. So for anyone who doesn't know exactly what happened, just a quick explanation. I was just walking along a footpath and it was quite uneven and I wasn't paying attention and I fell incredibly awkwardly. I sprained my left ankle and broke my right leg, both bones in 3 different places. I also dislocated the ankle and damaged the tendon. So I had to have surgery to fix that. I was in hospital for 2 weeks. So when I first came out of the hospital, I was very limited in what I could do. I obviously had crutches that I could use, but I was using all these muscles that I wasn't used to using, and so I was kind of getting quite sore and fatigued very quickly. And then I strained a muscle in my stomach from using the crutches, and that was, oh gosh, that was so painful. So every time I then used the crutches, it was like something stabbing me in the stomach. So, that just limited me even further. And plus I was, for those first couple of days, probably about a week, I was still on fairly strong pain medication. So that made me a little bit unsteady on my feet. And so, yeah, I wasn't moving around a whole lot. When I first came out of hospital, I couldn't put any weight on my leg and I was sort of getting around like this. Thankfully, within that first week, someone lent us a wheelchair, and gosh, that was just the biggest blessing. For example, making Jessica toast in the morning and trying to get the toast from the toaster over to the table so I could spread it. With the crutches, that was super awkward and difficult, and I'd be dropping things and not being able to balance myself. But yeah, on the wheelchair, I could just sit the plate of toast on my lap and scooch over to the table. So yeah, that was just so much better. And yeah, when I was super sore and just couldn't get around with the crutches, I could use the wheelchair. And for when I was doing longer distances too, the wheelchair was great. Of course, now I'm off all pain medication, so I'm not feeling, dizzy and loopy from that. And yeah, I've built up my muscles and yeah, getting along really well on the crutches. I can also put a little bit of weight on my foot, so that means if at any point I feel unsteady, I can just balance with both feet, so that makes a big difference too. So now I'm getting around on the crutches and I can put a little bit of weight on my leg, which is great. And if it starts getting sore, I can just use the crutches like that. The difficult thing is trying to carry something, so for example, let's just say I'm trying to zap the bugs around the house and it's kind of awkward, and if I'm trying to carry my laptop, it's kind of but one way we've sort of overcome that is Matt put a little hook. Matt put a little hook on here so I can hang a bag off that and then, put whatever it is that I need into the bag. And then I'm good to go. And so I was making cups of tea, but I definitely couldn't carry my thermos. So you imagine you've got a hot drink and you're trying to no, it just does not work. So I used my time of crocheting because I've had a bit of spare time, and someone suggested I crochet. I made this cool little holder. And so I can make my cup of tea, put it in my little thermos, and then hang it off my little hook. Ta-da! And then I can take my cup of tea from the kettle to wherever it is that I'm sitting and drink my tea. So that was a very important milestone for me. My arm muscles have built up quite a bit, which is exciting, but gosh, my leg, the one that I'm not using, the muscles have just deteriorated. It's all squishy and it's really weird. part of the rehabilitation will just be building the muscles back up. But I have started my rehabilitation, and yes, I'm doing very well with it, doing everything that I'm apparently supposed to be doing. I am just getting around so much better than what I was. So first week coming out of hospital, I couldn't even get water for myself because our drinking water is outside and there's a step. So trying to get out there, I couldn't get out in the wheelchair, and trying to get out in the crutches was just way too difficult, especially, like I said, I was feeling fairly unsteady on my feet. And so trying to navigate that step when you're a bit unbalanced and you can't compensate by putting down your other foot to steady yourself, it was just dangerous and scary. So I couldn't even get myself water to drink. Whereas like now I can pop in and out, and I made myself some eggs this morning. So I mean, I almost broke the eggs getting them from the fridge to the gas cooker, and you know, it was a bit difficult. Everything just takes longer and is harder, and you kind of got to be a bit creative with how you do things. But the fact is, I did make myself eggs and I ate them and they were delicious. So yeah, things are getting better and easier every day. So this is all just looking so much better. So the stitches have come out and the wounds healed up nicely, and you know, we'll just continue to do so. That's where I fell originally, and yeah, just I think that's the part of my body that like hit the ground first, which just really shows how awkwardly I must have fallen. Yeah, that's another scar where they either put the drain or fix the tendon, one of them. And yeah, that's my big scar. So also healing up very nicely. All the bruising has gone. It's a little bit swollen still, but yeah, overall pretty good. And yeah, so compared to my other foot, yeah, it's looking really good. And look, I can move it. I can move my toes now from side to side. So yeah, it's going great. God always teaches us things through difficult trials, and yeah, I'm certainly trying to embrace the lessons that he's teaching me here, because he does not waste anything, which is great. So one thing that I'm learning, so I already knew this about myself, I can be a fairly impatient and independent person. So I don't really like asking for help. And when I do ask for help, I want the thing done straight away, and I want it done the way I would like it done. And at the moment, that is just not an option. I'm asking the kids to do a lot of things for me, and kids don't do things the way that, you know, I would do them. And gosh, they take forever. It's like, I would ask them, you know, can one of you go out and fill up my drink bottle? And they'd be gone for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, what is taking you so long? Like, it literally takes maybe a minute to do this job. But you know what? I just had to learn to sit there and just be patient and wait for things. And that's been really good for me. It's been hard, but it's been really good. I know that there are blessings in every season. And so even in this season of my life, I'm trying to, see what the blessings are. And definitely there are many. So this is a time where I've actually gotten to have a lot of rest. It is forced rest, and sometimes it's actually really difficult because I see jobs that need to be done and I just think, well, I can't do that. And yeah, it really bugs me. But that's just where I am. So I'm like, you know what? If this is where I am, I will just try to enjoy it as much as possible. I do enjoy crocheting, so I have just been taking a bit more time to do that, and I've been spending lots of time praying. I've been able to read, and so yeah, things that a busy mum quite often doesn't get time to do, I have found myself with lots of time to do. And also just sitting with the kids and chatting to them, because you know, often it's like, oh, I don't really have time, I need to make dinner, you know, I need to bath this child, I need to do this and that. But it's like, I actually can't do any of those things, not well or easily. But the things that I can do, I can sit and read a book to the kids, I can chat with them, I can play games with them, like sitting down games. Yeah, so I've been able to do a lot of that, and you know, that has been just wonderful and beautiful. And yeah, so I'm trying to get the most out of this time that I can. So keep praying, and hopefully I'll be back on my feet and back to normal in no time. Okay, so yeah, I can sort of get stuff out of the fridge, except the problem is our kitchen's on a little bit of an angle, so it's like, okay, now I'll get my thing.